week 6 update. It's been another quick week and a good week. This hopefully will be a shorter video than some of my last ones, so just jump right in. So again, 6 weeks post having the mechanical valve installed and the Bentall procedure. I feel actually great. Sleep has been pretty good. Still hoping that'll get a little bit better. And activity level has been very good. Energy has been pretty high. Only a little bit of time that I've felt maybe a little bit down. So a few big events from the week. One is I did go back to work, and thankfully I'm day 3 of back at work, but the first 2 weeks I am doing half days, and I am able to work from home and plan on doing that at least for the first 6 weeks being back. And thankfully my employers and managers is good with that, and so I'm able to work from home. Very low impact, so nothing major there. It's actually kind of nice to have a little bit of something to do to keep my mind going in the mornings, because now that I actually have a little bit more energy, I'm ready to do more stuff, but still a little bit physically limited. So work is giving me a good outlet to do that. But again, only a couple days into it, so I'm still trying to build that up and get going and kind of figure out what my next steps are there. The other big thing is yesterday I was able to go to orientation for my cardiac rehab, which I'm very excited about. It is here locally in town at the hospital, so that's great. It's about an hour orientation where I sat with the nurse and she just explained the program. So the program that I'll be doing is a 12-week program, and it's 3 days a week, so there's 36 sessions. And right now it's a smaller facility, and there's a lot of patients, so it may be a week or two before they can get me in as they wait on another patient to graduate. But she did say there's 6 class times a day. There's an hour per session, and so once they have an opening, they'll get back to me with whatever time that is, and basically I will go to rehab on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday every week for the 12 weeks. At the same time, she explained a little bit of what the program would be. Obviously, I'll be monitored. That will be live monitored, but also sent to my cardiologist to read afterwards as well, in case there's anything. But just a few treadmills and a few light cardio machines. And she basically said the first 20 minutes is warm up, and then cardio, and they kind of let you push yourself whatever you feel comfortable with there, which is great. And then Mondays are upper body strength, which is light weights and resistance bands. Wednesday is lower body, light weights, resistance band, body weight. And then Thursday, after the warm up and cardio part, she said there's education piece, so I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. But again, hopefully that will start sooner than later, but they did say it may be a couple weeks. But that's very exciting. Another thing is I was going through and just kind of talking about where I was and what was going on. And she took vitals and things like that. She did say that obviously at this point, my heart rate probably is up higher than it is, normally was and will be, which is true. It's about 20 beats per minute higher. Resting heart rate sits around 70 beats per minute. And then even walking kind of pushes it up to 120, can be 130 because of the hills and things that I have around the house. And so I did ask about that, as far as how hard I can push myself as far as heart rate goes. And she did the calculation that's there, and she said that basically if I'm between 110 and 155 beats per minute, I am okay, as long as I don't feel winded or overexerted or lightheaded or anything like that. And so that was a great relief, because again, I've been trying to watch it and keep it below 130, really below 120. And with heat outside, sometimes I'm already near 120. And then the hills that are here, because I do live in an area that is kind of in the foothills, and so it does have a lot of elevation change just in my walk in my neighborhood. But being able to push that a little bit harder was great. So this morning I went out for my morning walk and actually conquered some of the hills that with a little bit faster pace that I've kind of been avoiding. And, it felt good to maybe keep the blood flowing a little bit more. And I only still got to around 140 on my heart rate. But again, just knowing that I'm safe in that range as long as I feel great was helpful, because again, I'm ready to do more than just the casual walk. Along with that, this week my activity has picked up quite a bit, and just in the last 4 days, I think, my morning walk has turned from a 30-minute walk or a 2-mile walk to I'm walking 60 minutes and getting 3 to 3.5 miles in each morning. I've done, in some of the cooler afternoons, I've done a 2-mile walk, and I've done 2 miles at the end of the day. And so that's really bumped me up to, overall, even with just kind of wandering around in that kind of normal activity, 8-9 miles a day, or I guess between 7 and 9 miles a day of walking, which is a good bit of activity. It was interesting because the nurse did tell me yesterday that I should probably tone it back a little bit, just so I make sure I don't push myself too hard, which is all the reason I'm going to the cardiac rehab, and really excited about that, so I can get back to my pre-fitness level without pushing too hard. So I'll see. I did wake up this morning and did my hour walk, so I'll probably cut that back, the midday walk, and then just do a leisurely walk after dinner at night, because that's become a one, it makes me feel better right after I eat and as I get ready for bed, but it's also been a good time to walk with my wife or some of my kids and just kind of catch up and that kind of thing. So that was the one thing she did say, is just kind of tone it back a little bit so I don't overexert myself. And so I guess once we start the actual program, I'll see, where I'll land there and how much more I can push myself. So again, that's the cardiac rehab update. The other thing, just on the vitals, as she was checking, blood pressure was great. It was like 126/74, which, over 84, which is fantastic. Again, for years I've had higher blood pressure, kind of due to the valve problem, and them trying, and so now I'm only on the one medication, and my blood pressure is still in a great range. So very excited to continue to get the exercise level up and get going. So that's the two big updates as far as going back to work at 6 weeks, and then the cardiac rehab piece. Pain wise, just there's really nothing other than when I maybe, I want to say overexert myself, but I've been doing stretches, especially after I walk, when my body's warm, and so upper body stretches and just mobility. And so sometimes that may get my chest muscles a little bit tweaked, but really there's no pain. So I'm not on any kind of pain medicine, no Tylenol, just taking my warfarin and blood pressure medicine each day. So again, these are big improvements, and great to make me feel like I'm moving in the right direction. And then the last thing, I think, from the week is, after my cardiologist appointment last week, I think I've decided I'm going to, or I actually have decided I'm going to start looking for a new cardiologist. I'm looking now, since I've passed the surgery part. I'm much more, previous to the surgery, up until I was told I needed it, I would go in once a year for an echo and a quick meeting with the cardiologist and say thumbs up, thumbs down, and go. Never really thought about it. But now that I want to be, way more intentional with what I'm doing, understand my plan to make sure I'm moving in the right direction. And so I've asked around, talked to a couple friends. And so right now I'm in the process of trying to set up a new appointment with another cardiologist that's pretty close to here. So hopefully I can get that done. I've heard great things as far as sitting down and walking you through the plan and really listening to you, which is, what anybody would want in a doctor. And so hopefully you can get that done. But overall, at 6 weeks, I feel great. I mean, most of the time I feel normal. My energy levels are mentally, I feel more alert than I did before the surgery. and realize how quickly I was declining. I didn't notice at the time. And so even little things like if I'm tired in the afternoon, I may lay down to take a nap and I can't fall asleep, which was never a problem before. And so, again, I can see glimpses of what it's going to be once I'm fully recovered. So hopefully, again, taking it slowly, doing the full cardiac rehab to make sure I don't have myself any setbacks from pushing too hard. I'm hoping that I will really be able to experience all these benefits on the back end, which I believe I will. So, again, great energy levels, a lot more activity. Started back to work, started in easy, and I'll be working from home for a while from that, thankfully. And then the search for a new cardiologist begins. And that's really it for week 6. Probably what I will do is now move to, I'll do a video at week 8, so 2 months post-surgery, instead of doing a weekly at this point. So 2 months, so in a couple weeks I'll do that, and hopefully by then, just depending on how quickly I can get set up, but I may have an update on cardiologist as well. Everything looks good, so that's it for now.